What's up, guys? Jake with T and Tactical coming to another special video. Today we are looking at the Zulisy Oak. This is an RMR footprint pattern red dot that was actually sent out to the channel by Zulisy. Thank you guys, we really appreciate that. They were kind enough to send this out to us for testing evaluation. No money or anything else besides that, but they wanted us to really properly test this out to see how it does. Today we're going to go over all the specs and features of this particular red dot and why it might be a good option for you, especially if you're kind of just getting into red dots on your pistols, zero it properly. And if you've been around with the channel for a while now, you know that anytime we get free stuff, we tend to beat the living piss out of it. And that's not going to be any different with this one today. We do this because we think it's important for you as a viewer to know if this red dot is actually worth your time and, more importantly, your hard-earned money. That being said, speaking of money, we do have a discount code, TN Tactical 24, which will actually give you 15% off. Kind of wish it was TN Tactical 15. That would have been made more sense. But hey, regardless, 15% off of whatever it's currently going for. I think the price before taxes was like, I don't know, 15 and $76 and some change. So definitely not a bad price for a budget-friendly red dot. That being said, it's only going to matter if it can hold zero. Let's see how she does. All right, so we are actually at about just under 18 yards here. Actually measured it for once. PSA dagger, 17 round mag. Let's see how she does. Like I said from the beginning, we've got an RMR pattern that fits nicely on any RMR cut slide. For example, the PSA dagger we got here is a 3 MOA dot. Your objective lens is going to be 24 millimeters, and every click of adjustment is going to be 1 MOA. It does have 10 different brightness settings, 8 of which are going to be daytime, 2 of which are for night vision use. Okay, I will show you what we got here. At first it was all over the place. I got eventually right here for the zero. I just kind of double checked my zero, and as you can see, it kind of spread all over the place up here for the headshots. All in all though, I mean they're body shots. Now it's supposed to be shockproof and waterproof and all that good stuff, which we will properly test today. And it uses a CR1632 battery. Right up top here, the battery comes in from the top. And that's actually a good feature to have because it means you can go ahead and swap out the batteries without taking the red dot off. And then, you know, having to put it back on and re-zero and all that good stuff. So good on them for doing that. Seems zero enough to me. This battery will last you for about 50,000 hours. Of course, that's assuming it's on probably one of the lower brightness things. On the higher brightness things, you might get less. There goes the neighbor. Very nice. That being said, it does actually have the shake awake technology that you see in a lot of different red dots these days. Meaning if you set down somewhere, leave it untouched, after about 4 or 5 minutes, it'll actually cut off, saving your battery life. Until you come back and pick it back up, it starts coming back on for you. It does have a rubberized button on the left side as well as a button on the right side for adjusting your brightness up and down. Now, of course, your elevation is up here at the very top for up and down, and you've got your windage right here on the side. Pretty straightforward. Uses a little flathead screwdriver that they give you, or you can probably use one of those little flathead screwdrivers that you use for like electronics and stuff too. You'll see that it sits on here kind of nice and compact. You know, it's not too large, not too big, not too small. It seems to be about the same size as a lot of other common red dots out there, with a couple other unique features I like. You see those little bunny ear looking things right there? That actually will line up with your iron sights. Thankfully, the front sight, which is suppressor height sights, actually sticks up just enough over the body of the red dot here so that I can use my rear sight and my front sight. If you look here, it kind of sits a little bit tall there to where it almost obscures the rear sight. I mean, let's be honest, it pretty much does obscure the rear sight here. So I like that they give you that sort of built-in rear sight there to kind of compensate for that. Now, one really cool thing about the Zulisy Oak and a lot of the other Zulisy red dots out there is it actually comes with a Picatinny mount adapter, meaning you can actually put this red dot on a rifle or anything that has like a Picatinny rail on top. We did also have the Oak on the Gen 3 Sub 2000 that just recently came out, and we found it to hold zero just fine there as well. Of course, with it being on a rifle with like a fixed barrel like that and no slide moving or anything, I would expect it to not really lose zero. Today is going to be the real proper test on a moving slide, which by the way, this is empty, to really see if it can handle all that recoil as well as a few other, well, creative ways to test it. Today will be the real test to see how she does. All right, so we are now empty. Ooh, slide's a little bit hot there. Empty and all that good stuff. It won't be a proper test on Team-tastical unless we dropped it. All right, so here we go. It's gonna end up right here, roughly behind the camera, but you'll see up close. About chest high, roughly. 3, 2, 1. That was a pretty good one. Oh yeah. Oh, there goes my camera. Ooh. As you can see there, we have some damage to the aluminum housing. Nothing significant. The glass appears to be intact. So far, we're still good. The pole of damnation. We are going to take the red dot and start slamming it like we're trying to rack it and smack it against the sides here. I got this angle here so you can properly see it there. Pretend you're in a battle situation and you have to use this red dot against the corner of a wall or something to help you re-rack your slide. That's what we're testing. As you can see, we are putting marks in the wood there. So far, it seems to be holding up okay. Now, one concerning area that I have here, if you look here, it's kind of skinny up top here. Do you see that? The metal is kind of thin up in the very top middle there, which is probably going to be a point of weakness for it. Just to give you like a clean side to look at here, so you can see we're not bullshitting you here. Still holding up just fine. See if you can see that there. It's a little bright out here, but you can see that the red dot is still intact, as well as the housing. It's a little scratched up, but everything is still there. All right, she's a little bit dirty now, so we need to go ahead and clean it off. Just let it sit there in there for a while. You can still see the red dot once I clear the water out. She still works. All right, so we have properly beat the piss out of this now. We got a fresh new target up here as well. And like you saw earlier, we have properly beat the piss out of this. I'm hoping this holds zero, otherwise it's gonna be kind of an awkward conversation to have with Zulisy. Okay, all right, so we got some things we need to talk about. Obviously, I can hit the target if I need to, as you'll see. So we had a slight point of impact shift of about 2 inches up. Is it significant? Not really. I'm shooting again roughly about 11 yards. So when shooting, I can take aim and still confidently know, yes, bad example in the first shot, but yes, I can still hit my target. Those are 8-inch steel plates at 11, or really probably more like 12 yards at this distance. Let me show you what we got. My first shots were actually up here and one out here as well. I adjusted and sort of compensated. These were my shots when I actually brought my reticle down just a little bit, like right here. This is where the shots ended up. Those are a couple of flyers. I'm not really counting those, but this is basically my pattern right here that we're looking at. Now, that doesn't stop me from shooting these steel plates. That's totally fine. Again, judging from the distance, that's probably closer to 12 yards. This sun's in my eyes, but now there's something you need to see. Obviously, we're clear, all that good stuff. I don't know if this is a red dot thing or if this is an issue with the slide cut. See if you can see that. There's a, trying to keep the slide still, but there is a slight, see that? That could be an issue of why the red dot lost a little bit of point of impact. I don't think you guys are going to be drop testing this the way I just did. At least you shouldn't. In fact, we have the Zulisy Owl that's similar to this that we'll be testing out a little bit differently, and we'll be able to see if that's true or not. I think as long as you don't do anything too stupid like we did, you'll probably be fine. But it's good to know that if you did accidentally drop the red dot, it should survive. You might just have to retighten your screws down just a little bit. I can actually see without the sun in my eyes. So what do I think about, well, that doesn't really help me. My thoughts on the Zulisy Oak. I think it's a really good quality red dot for what you pay for. Coming in under $100, I think that you're going to be hard pressed to try to find something as good quality as this. We zeroed it, we mag dumped it, we were still able to hit our steel even after beating the piss out of it. Now that being said, of course, there was a slight shift in the point of impact, but that could be an issue where these back screws came a little bit loose, just enough to where the red dot moves. Again, I'm not sure if that is an issue with the particular red dot or if it's an issue with the slide itself. This is not the first time I've had this happen with this particular slide. That is a variable to consider. That all being said, the red dot still works. The glass is fine. All we really have as far as damage goes is a little bit of scratches and stuff on the aluminum housing, but is the point of impact shift something you should really worry about? Probably not. I would be much more concerned if the glass had broken or something happened to where the red dot no longer could come on. The point of impact shift really isn't that big of a deal, again, because but that's just me and that's my perspective, and we have a sample size of 1 here. So my final thoughts for this red dot would have to be that if you're looking for something to start off with, if you're looking for something to practice at the range or maybe even use for like 3-gun or something like that, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. No pun intended. My neighbor's shooting too. Is it budget friendly? Yes, it's obviously a budget friendly red dot. But I think if you had to spend less than like $100 for a red dot, I think this would be a good choice. I like it. I think you'll like it too. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Remember, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Have you picked up a Zulisy Oak? Love to hear from you. We will see you next time. That's I don't know, but I mean.